Back in 2018, my partner and I, Anna, wrote a book based around my drawings of all the old abandoned homes that we used to come across just driving around the countryside, here in the Lockyer Valley, a beautiful part of southeast Queensland. Now in this series of blogs, I take you back to these places, not to redraw them, but to revisit them, and to see if there's something else either there or nearby that I can find to take back to my studio and draw. So stick around, I'd love to have you join me on my artistic journey. I'm Robbie Greer from Rusticated-Art, and this is my vlog Beyond the Fence Revisited, Santa's Bridge Part 5. Now when they built the bridge, there was no metal, no steel at all used, like for nails, anything like that. It was all built with wood. It wasn't until later on that they started putting in steel, steel pins and rods and things. So I don't know how they put the sides on, but how did they hold these on there? Got no idea. I have seen one photo of the bridge from the front on, and it had rails on it. And there probably are others around. Anna's been doing volunteer work at the Pioneer Village, so and her job as a volunteer is to find all the old photos and that, and newspaper articles, and categorise them all, put them in proper files. So she's brought me home a couple of articles, copies of articles from the newspapers and that, which has been a big help. Getting research for this video, or this series. I'm actually planning on doing a series at the Pioneer Village. I've been talking to the president out there, and I've drawn quite a few of the buildings, and there's a few more I want to do. Yeah. And they got lots of machinery out there, like old vintage tractors, and they had what they called a lin. It's sort of like an old heavy duty tractor truck type machines, and that's one of the machines that I do want to draw. Never seen one before. I think there's only 2 in the country, or in Queensland. I'm not too sure on that, but I'll find out. But I know that they're very, very rare, so I want to draw that. Oh, they've got all sorts there, It's all run by volunteers. There's people that are really interested in the history of, of the Lockyer Valley and Laidley itself. I love those old pioneer villages. Oh, about 3 years ago, Anna and I, 3 or 4 years ago, we went to a place called Highfields, and we went there for Easter. Camped there, put up our little pup tent, and fortunately that year there was no rain. I think the last 2 or 3 years they've been rained out, so then that's been a real bummer for them. And that's how they make most of their money. It's all because it's all volunteers, and I believe that Highfields one is actually owned privately but run by volunteers. And of course, over Easter, like 3 days, they're really just trying to fundraise to be able to get enough money to keep the place going. But I love it. You wake up in the morning, they got the fires going, for cooking, because they got bread cooking all the time, breakfasts and meals. It's just like in the old days, and you can smell the smoke and smell the food cooking. Oh, I loved it. You can do these bits here. Yeah, imagine trying to cut all this timber. Well, they had to be hard people, because man, this timber is so heavy. It's like steel. I'm building a gazebo back of home here, and out of recycled timber that I, you see it advertised every now and then. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. This one that I'm using at the moment for the gazebo, I think it cost me about $20. It's an old deck that had been pulled down, but I got all the bearers, so there's nails in it. But oh, that's all right. And at least I've got electric tools that I can use to shape it to how I want it. And I keep saying, like, I said to Anna, like this, it is so hard. Man, I go through some drills, and I honestly believe, they call it ironbark, and I believe it would rust before it rots. Yeah. And remember I guess once they had the mills up and running, once they started milling, they would have had, I think they had old diesel motors and huge machines and that. And so they would have, that's the only way they could have cut it. I mean, I don't know, then right at the beginning, I guess they would have just used the hand saws or something. I don't know, I must find out about that, because I can't see how they'd be able to do it. You see the slab huts and that, so they were probably split. Somehow they probably split them, because they wouldn't have had any. Well, I suppose they could have had guys trying to saw them, but I don't know. I know with a lot of the native timbers, the hard timbers. I remember back in New Zealand, we used to work with a lot of totara. I was on the fence line doing some fencing, and quite often there'd be an existing fence, but it was obviously getting too old. So now and again, the farmer that we were doing the fence for, he'd want to use that totara for battens. Pull the old posts out, and then we used to have to split them, make them into battens. That was the easy part. The hardest part was when it came to actually stapling them to the fence. That wasn't easy, because it's hard wood and it keeps splitting. So you got to make sure when you split the posts into the batten size that they're at least big enough to be able to, bang a staple in without splitting them. So it'd have to be two of you, one holding a spade or a shovel hard against it, and you'd come along with your hammer and your staple trying to bang it in. Thankfully we didn't have to do too many of those, because that used to take up a lot of time. And when you're getting paid by the chain, not by the hour, you're trying to do it as fast as you can, try and make some money. Oh, it was a lot of fun. I used to love fencing. When I was a young fella, scrub cutting, used to do a lot of scrub cutting too. When I first started scrub cutting, it was just with an old slasher. We used to get about $1 an hour, blisters on your hands. And then we remember our boss gave us a went and bought some chainsaws, so we were using chainsaws, and then scrub cutting machines. But to start with, it was just with the old slasher. Oh, we were young, we were only 16, 17 years old. There'd be a gang of us, and we'd just go out and do it. Work hard, play hard, that was our motto. I used to also do tree planting. Used to love tree planting as well. Put a bit of green in here. I was also a shearer. Shore sheep for a few years. But in New Zealand, shearing was very seasonal, so a lot of the Kiwi shearers used to come over here to Oz and shear. I never did. I probably should have. Better money. But anyway, I enjoyed shearing as well. Just want to get all this blocked in. Well, I think it's about that time I stop talking. And once again, depending on what part of the world you're in, grab a glass or a cup, your favourite drink, put your feet up, listen to some relaxing music, think about the wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll see you in a few minutes. If you like what you're seeing and feel you're getting some value, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment and share it with your friends, because if you're liking it, chances are they're going to like it just as much. And if you haven't yet subscribed but you want to, hit that red button, ring the bell, and that way you'll get notified every time a new video comes out. Now if this is the first time you've been here, then this video over here is the one for you. Well, once again, that's about it for this week. Have a wonderful weekend, my friends. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time. Same place, same time.